Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 587. Today we're going to use our Anna Griffin supplies. We're going to make a gorgeous card. Everything I do use I should put in a detailed list on my blog, so please check it out. There's always lots of extra photos on there as well. So, the items that we're going to use are quite minimal for this card, even though it's going to have maximum impact. And I think it is a gorgeous card, and you'll be able to change the colourways and especially the sentiment as well. The first item that we're going to use is from the Anna Griffin Lace Border Embossing Folder and Die Set, and we're going to use the Floral Lace Embossing Folder. We're going to use it for both the inside and the outside. We're also going to use the Ruffle Cut and Emboss dies. We're going to use the large ornate ruffle cut and emboss. We're going to use the shadow layer as well. We're also going to use the large oval and the two inner sections, the ornate and the shadow emboss. So we're practically using all of the dies apart from the little small circle, the small oval in the middle. So we're using the 5 outer dies. So the first thing we're going to need is our base card. This is a 7x5" card, and it's just an ivory card. I've used a distress ink to tint the edges, and I've used 3 different colours for this project, and I've used Spiced Marmalade set 1, Ripe Persimmon set 8, and Vintage Photos set 3. You'll see as we go along the inks that I've used and the way that I've used them. So for the outside it was Vintage Photo and a little bit of the Spiced Marmalade. I've used my Anna Griffin Handmade by stamp on the back, and I've added my name already and the project number. You don't have to add your project number. It's a great way of letting the recipient know who's made the card for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my bone folder to make sure I've got a nice sharp crease along the top edge. The bone folder is from the Anna Griffin tool collection, and you've got an assortment of different things in the collection, and the bone folder is probably my most useful. So for the inside of the card, the first thing I've done is I've taken some ivory cardstock and I've embossed it. I haven't embossed and squashed, I've just embossed it, and you can see the raised pattern around the edge. So pretty, and it's just, I think, perfect for an insert is this design, especially with the centre. I've got flat tape on the back of it, and I can simply peel the back of the tape away, and you can also see where I've cut out the actual, well, I'm saying cut out, where I've embossed it, I've cut around the edge, and then I've used a rounded corner punch just to make sure I've got rounded corners. This is going to sit perfectly inside our card, like so, and I can press it down so you've still got that raised area. Next, I've taken a sentiment from the Favourite Sentiment Stickers collection, and this was on 2 layers, and I've actually peeled the top layer away, and that means it's now a flat sticker. And I've also taken some flowers from the Favourite Flower collection from Anna Griffin set 3, and these are stickers, so all I have to do is peel the back of these away. Now, I'm asked a great deal about how do I peel the back of a sticker away, because sometimes I have trouble. Now, all I do for prepping, or if I'm using a sticker and I want to get the back away quick, it's a bit like the tape. I showed you the other day about taking the back of the tape away. I take my pokey tool and I simply lift very carefully and take the back, lift the back, and there we go. So then I can just peel it away. Now, because I've got a raised surface underneath, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra glue. You don't have to if you're going on a flat surface with them being a sticker. It's just I want to be able to have good hold, and I want it to stick, and the glue will just sink into those non-embossed areas and help it to stick. So I'm going to place my floral sticker to one side of the centre, and then I'm taking my sentiment sticker and peeling the back away that I've put tape on, and I'm just going to slide this into and under a section of the flower. You can see where it's raised, and I'm just slipping that under there like so to make it look as though it's all one. And then I can press it down firmly, and that is our insert complete. How pretty is that? A simple embossed layer, or you could use pattern cardstock, a sentiment and a floral sticker. And we've got some nice room there for a to and from message. Very pretty. So now we can turn our attention to the front of the card. I'm using my bone folder again to make sure that's a nice sharp crease at the top. And our base layer is exactly the same as we had for the insert. If I hold it that way, you can see the embossing on it. And all I've done is cut it down and then rounded the corners using the corner punch. Now, the corner punch could be anything you've got in your stash. If you haven't got one, you know, just leave them as square corners. It was just something a little bit different. Where I've inked the outside edge, you're not going to see a lot of it. You're only going to see the very edges of it. But it's just going to make it tone in with the rest of the card. So we're just going to get the very edge once I put that layer on, so you can just see it like a frame. Our next layer is the shadow layer from the Ruffle Cut and Embossed dies. 3D foam on the back, and you can see it's just ivory cardstock. Now this is where I've used the distress inks. I've started with the palest colour, which was the spiced marmalade, and I've blended into the centre. You're not going to see it all, it's going to give just a touch of colour. So I've blended into the centre, and then my next layer was the ripe persimmon, and again I've blended in, and then the edge layer was the vintage photo to tone the colours down, to make them more of a burnt orange colour to tone in. And I just think, beautiful as it is, it's going to just really make the lace layer stand out. So I can add this over our previous layer and try and get it nice and central, press it down. So our lace layer is just plain ivory cardstock. I've got flat tape on the back, so I've die cut it using the Ruffle Cut and Emboss large die, and I simply position it over our shadow layer with the inking on. So now you can see how the tones of the ink work with the cardstock layer on the top, and it just makes it look darker to the edge and lighter towards the inside. Our next layer is the large oval, and I've used the Anna Griffin metallic layers, 7 by 5 inches in size, and I've taken the burnt orange colour. I'm sure there's a fancy name for it, but we'll call it burnt orange. And I've got flat tape on the back, and all I'm going to do with this is add this to the centre of the actual previous layer, like so. Press it down. Next, I've taken the inner shadow layer and the fancy layer, and I've die cut them in ivory cardstock. I've got the shadow layer on 3D foam, and I've got the actual fancy layer on flat tape. So the flat layer is going to sit, sorry, the fancy layer, the ornate layer, is going to sit flat on the actual shadow layer, like so. There we go. And then we can position both layers through the centre, like that. So we've built up a layered system using the one set of dies. Next, I've taken some flowers from the Fancy Flower sticker set, number 3. I've got 3D foam on one edge and I've left the rest as sticker, and I'm going to position these just to the side of our centre. And then I've taken some more of the flowers, again 3D foam towards the edge, and then the sticker part will sit at this side, and I've trimmed some of the greenery away from the edge of the flowers, just so that they will all sit nicely around the oval. And the third set of flowers for underneath, like that. I've taken a sentiment from the favourite sentiment collection, and instead of using it as a sticker, I've got 3D foam on the back of it, and I'm simply going to position that through the centre and over some of the flowers, like that. And then I'm going to finish it off with I was going to say a little bow, a large ivory bow, just underneath the sentiment. And that is our card finished. Those gorgeous layers and the colours just sing. Just so beautiful. And the inside matches the outside perfectly. Stands up perfectly, will go on any mantelpiece, and you could change the occasion. You don't have to use it for birthdays. You could change it for get well soon, thinking of you, wedding, congratulations, etc. It will go in an envelope. You have got a few layers on there with the actual flower stickers. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 layers, but I don't think you'll struggle with an envelope. I think you'll be fine in a normal envelope. Check my blog for lots more photos of the tutorial, both inside and outside, to give you a reminder, and all the items that I've used as well. There's always a full detail list on there, whether the items are newer items or older items, and in some cases I can include links as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.